All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the December 10th, 2024, our last school board meeting of the calendar year. I'd like to call the school board meeting to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Maggie Larson.
Here.
Carrie Clark. Sarah O'Brien Hart. Here. Crystal D. St. Croix.
Here.
Marcia Brown. Barbara Wentworth.
Excused.
Bridget Jameson.
Here.
If everyone can join me in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome. At this time, we are open for comments by visitors. If anyone has anything to say, come up to the microphone, state your name and your address. We'd be happy to hear you. All right, seeing none. Any initial comments by board members at this time? Yes.
I just wanted to quickly say that I agree that the Somersworth Public Works did a great job with the roads this morning. I have to drive through many cities, and ours was like one of the clearest on my commute. So, yeah. And then I just want to say, Barbara, that I have appreciated every moment that I've ever spent with her. She's just wonderful. From when I was a teacher to like getting to work with her now, and you're a delight. You care about kids. You're a wonderful person. And I think I told you like personally that you were my kid's favorite sub when I taught, but like I want to announce to the community that she was my kid's favorite sub when I taught. So thank you, and I will miss you, and I will be all alone over here. So
Yeah, thank goodness not today. Yeah, Marcia's not feeling well. Gemma moved out of her district, and Carrie will be here later tonight. So, okay. All right, yes.
I mean, taking the opportunity that board member Jameson presented. Board member Wentworth, I don't want to think about the fact that you're leaving, so I've kind of been not thinking about it, but I so much appreciate you, and as a new board member, your leadership and example, so thank you. And I will probably still message you and be like, I don't know what's going on, so, all right, but thanks.
We have it at the end, too. So provide everybody. Good. All right. Our consent calendar this evening has the school board meeting minutes and non-public minutes from November 19th and the enrollment report from December 1st. What's the wish of the board to accept the consent calendar as presented? Board member Wentworth, take it away.
I would like to present that we accept the consent calendar as presented.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, we adopted the consent calendar. Reports this evening, our student representative report. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
On December 7th, the SHS National Honor Society hosted a blood drive at Idlehurst Elementary. We had a great turnout and wanted to thank all of our community members who came out. Also on December 7th, the high school hosted our annual craft fair. This is a big event and we welcome many vendors from the area. The winter band and chorus concert will be held on Wednesday, December 18th, starting at 6:30 p.m. in the Somersworth High School Black Box and cafeteria. We hope for a great community turnout. Winter sports have all started, and we're looking forward to a great season for the girls' basketball, boys' basketball, hockey, and winter track. From December 16th to the 20th, Somersworth High School will be hosting Winter Spirit Week. Days will include a whiteout day, ugly sweater day, and a holiday pajama day. Again, this year we will be holding an advisory door decorating contest. This is a favorite tradition at SHS. On December 19th, Somersworth High School will be welcoming several alumni to talk to current students about post-secondary options, including college and career opportunities. This will be hosted from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in our black box. Finally, we're all excited to announce that we will be hosting a career fair for local businesses on January 9th. To this point, we have over 35 organizations that have agreed to participate. This will be a great opportunity for all of our students to be exposed to college and career options.
It sounds like all of those events were free and open to the public.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. All right, moving to our superintendent report.
I wanted to recognize CTC, high school teacher Miles Burns, and his work with 2 high school students. This was the weekend before Thanksgiving, and I'm not sure we had the chance to share it in this forum. But 2 students, Ray LaBelle and Riley Quist, both competed. Riley was recognized among 75 other tenors statewide, finishing second. and Ray LaBelle among 100 bass baritones from all over the state also was recognized second. So both to both those students and to Miles for all the great work that he is doing at the high school and at the CTC. Stephanie Lafreniere, our Director of Grants and Development Work, was recently selected to participate in and to be a member of the Title I Committee of Practitioners at the state level, which is a good opportunity for her and, more importantly, a great opportunity for the district. This is a group of professionals that will be sharing resources and best practices and provided the opportunity to advise on state rules, regulations, and policies related to Title I. And networking with other districts. So we're excited for Stephanie, and we expected that she would have had no problem being invited onto this, and she has been. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to participating in the joint committee, the Mayor's Committee, Somersworth High School Fields Committee, that's being headed by City Council Representative David Witham. We have Marcia Brown participating from the school board, myself, Jerry Lambert, high school football coach Steve Hodson as athletic director, and Jay Lilly. And we'll be looking at not only providing a better space in front of the high school and middle school for athletics, but also for community building and really hopefully make that a spot that is really one of the pride and joys of this city, and a space that is both useful and one that the entire community can take advantage of. The Somersworth Festival Association, we got a real check, Katie, or was this a presentation of a check? This is, and I haven't met Don, is it Don Howd or Hood? Hood, sorry. Don Hood, Grace Fuller, and Diana Gannon are the executive board members of the Somersworth Festival Association. Presented us with a check for $8,000 today to be used $2,000 per school for arts programs at Idlehurst, Maplewood, the middle school, and the high school. So that'll be coming to school administrators before the end of the week. So we're very thankful for that and very excited about that support for the arts coming from outside the schools. I loved the parade on Saturday, and I just want to say how wonderful it was. You know, the school board was present, middle school board was present, Maplewood was present in big numbers, the championship volleyball team, the marching band, so many community members that were out there. It was really an awesome event. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to participate in the Berwick-Somersworth parade. Did not get to do that several years ago when I was here as high school principal. It was really, really wonderful. And lastly, just wanted to echo what board member Jamison said. Not only the Department of Public Works and the job that Mike Babinski does overseeing all that, but they were working late last night, they were working early this morning, but also our facilities and custodial crew. Wasn't perfect, and I know some parking lots were a little bit slippery, and we'll do better. But in terms of just making sure everything was in good shape so we could have a good start to the school day today, very much appreciated. And that's it.
We do have the salt spray, so maybe if we made a call, that salt spray from Living on the Hill has been a game changer. So it's, yeah, it keeps us being able to get out of our homes at the top of the hill. So maybe if that helps in our parking lots, it would be maybe be asked. Thank you so much. That was a good update. Business administrator report. We have one. Thank you.
Yes. So the update for the current year's budget is in your packet. I don't have much to report in terms of this year, but I wanted to bring 3 pieces of information regarding next year's budget to the board. The budget committee met on December 3rd, and I presented this information to them. So the first one is our New Hampshire retirement rates. These are set every 2 years. So we have seen a decrease for the next 2 years for these rates. So currently for employees, so everybody other than teachers, the district pays 13.53%. That's going down to 12.75%. And then for teachers, it's going from 19.64% to 19.23%. So we'll see a little bit of a savings there as we go into budget season. On the other hand, our health insurance rates, that wasn't as good news as the New Hampshire retirement rates. We are seeing a 14.4% increase for our health rates. This is due to increased claims. School care, typically at the end of every year, they're required to return any surplus that they have, but because of the increase in medical claims, there was no surplus or reserves to return to members. So that resulted in no premium holiday savings for the district. So that's why there's a larger increase this year. And then we also received our estimate for our State of New Hampshire adequacy payment that we received for revenue. We are going to see a decrease for next year of $61,593. However, we've seen hundreds of thousands of dollars in decreases the last few years. So even though it is still a decrease, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't much larger. So that's all I have.
I'll do a little bit more of an update in the budget section about the increase in health rate, just to have it be clear, but, yeah, thank you. All right, our city council update. Counselor Parity Catanzaro, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just a couple of updates for folks to be aware of. We had quite a lengthy council meeting yesterday. There's a lot of discussion around how we could improve public notices and website updates via, push emails or things that people can sign up for. If folks have suggestions or input on that, please see me. We also were just talking about a welcome packet for new families and anybody that moves into the city. So if you have additional ideas of things that should go in a welcome packet to welcome new folks to the city, let me know. And then 2 awards that the city is actually getting tomorrow. The Falls Chamber Gala is tomorrow night, and the Citizen of the Year for 2024 is our own city manager, Bob Belmore. And at the same night, the city is being presented with a Municipal Leadership Award for our work on housing through the Mayor's Task Force. So very exciting things happening in the city. I'm also really interested in hearing about your experience on the school board with IT auditing and websites. That's another thing that's on our list of things to do. So we're interested on, how to find the people to do that and sort of how the budget worked and things like that. And then, as the superintendent mentioned, we have a high school fields committee meeting in this very room on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. And anyone is welcome to join that as well. I think that's it for me.
Do we bring up the tax rate yet? Just as a public notice, or was it announced?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll say it, and you can so the tax rate I think is set for the upcoming year at $18.70 per $1,000 of assessed value.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and we haven't received our portion yet, but we will probably in the new year as the budget the next school board meeting. We'll probably be able to present a preliminary budget in January. End of January, late January. Okay, great.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you remind everyone what the tax rate was last year, or do you?
Look at my tax bill, 2870, 2880, 90.
Okay. Sorry.
Does anyone know in the audience exactly how much the tax rate was this year? 28 something. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's close. Yep. So it's about $10 less, but it's different because of the evaluation of homes, the reevaluation. That's all right. Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah. Well, moving into committee reports, the first is budget and revenue. So we had our budget and revenue committee meeting, and like Katie expressed, adequacy is always kind of a slight hit, but not as large as previous years. Our biggest one is our health rates, and I just wanted to clarify and try to make it as clear as possible. Do we have the increase for health rates? Is there anything that we can do about that? Can we decrease it? Can we do another? There's no other option.
No, I mean, you could go out to RFP, but they are tied to your collective bargaining agreement, so you would have to change your collective
And
bargaining
so
agreement.
the options typically are school care
And health trust.
and health trust. And health trust this year is higher.
I've heard that districts who have them were in
There.
the 20% increase.
So that's about a $500,000 increase for something that we have no control
Estimated.
over. Estimated.
I haven't done the budget
Estimated-
yet, yes.
Estimated about 500,000, but just to be, public and aware that that's something that we have to work with, that we have no control over, that is tied to our health insurance rates. The next budget meeting is January 21st, and that's when we will begin to see the preliminary budget, what we're working with and what we have, and we'll get the numbers from the city of how much is coming from Somersworth, and preliminary budget from the schools and the district and what we're looking at. So any ideas or input, please let me know. I'm the budget chair. Building, grounds, and transportation, there's no update. Ed programs, community, no update. Personnel and negotiations, any update on that, or? Okay.
speaks. I know
Okay,
Carrie's
perfect.
coming
She'll
a little
come in
bit
a little
late.
later,
We just
yeah.
had our second meeting negotiating with the custodial and facilities crew, and both meetings were very productive. And we're hoping that we might actually have an agreement before winter break or in early January. And working with Katie, we're pretty tight so that budget-wise, if the negotiations take later into January, we're pretty good to have a place marker in there. But we have a lot of, we think very highly of the work that our facilities and custodial crew does, and we're looking forward to reaching an agreement with them that's pretty positive.
Oh, great. All right, perfect. Our Eyes on 30 City Committee Board Liaison in Arts and Culture was Gemma Saldati, who had moved out of her ward. So moving to policy, there has not been a policy committee, but we have many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, for second reading and adoption this evening. So there's no update with new policies. However, we do have a meeting coming up on December 17th, and we will be reviewing, Kat, do you have the reference there of the couple of policies that we're reviewing? One is very simple update, and one is more about federal grants and updating. Like,
Yep, so we have 3 that we'll be reviewing: DIE, DAF, and JICD.
okay, so which one is the lengthy kind of updated?
DAF.
And what's the federal grants and how to? Yeah, so
Yes,
it's kind
there
of
was
more
quite
of
a
a
bit.
priority by law, not kind of our influence over what it is. It's
Correct.
not like creating something that's specific to Somersworth. It's just kind of, we go through the lawful kind of requirements. So, okay.
Yes.
And that'll be on the 17th, and that'll be our last policy meeting of the year. All right. Presentations this evening. Would you like to introduce?
Steve Hodson was going to give us an update. We were happy to have him in last time around, recognize him as Athletic Director of the Year last year, and also as coach of our volleyball state champions in Division II. But this is an update just on how fall sports went in general and just preview of winter sports. Thanks, Steve.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Just a brief update. So obviously the fall seasons were overall fairly successful. Volleyball went undefeated, won the state championship. Football went up a division and had a lot of one-score games. It came down to the wire in a lot of those games, and they ended up qualifying for the playoffs with a very young team. Our boys soccer team moved up a division and just missed qualifying for the playoffs. Our cheer squad competed in the state championship and came in second out of the 3 Division III teams that were there, but unfortunately the NHIA doesn't recognize championship unless there's at least 5 teams from a division, and there were like 6 or 7 other Division II teams we had to compete against. And our girls soccer team grew in numbers, and they were competitive in every game as well. We had about 150 athletes participating out of 407 students, which is quite a large number. The winter seasons, we don't have as many opportunities for the athletes to compete because we have smaller teams. We have about 7 kids playing hockey on our co-op with Co-Brown team. Boys basketball has about 30 out. Girls basketball has about 25 out, which is a good number. That's up from the last couple of years. We have about 9 girls competing in winter spirit, and we have about 7 or 8 athletes competing in indoor track, and their first meet is this coming Saturday at Plymouth State. Middle school had also successful seasons as well. Our middle school soccer team had 22 athletes, which is the biggest they've had in a few years, and they went 5-1, only losing to Oyster River. Very successful season, and our middle school volleyball team had about 30 kids going out for the team, and a young team, a lot of 6th graders, and they greatly improved as the school year went. Our middle school winter sports are underway. We have boys and girls basketball. They both got their first wins of the season tonight. They look great. Boys had about 44 kids go out for the team, which was huge, and girls had about 28. So numbers are growing, and that's what we're looking for in participation. We just want kids out there participating in extracurricular activities, and looking forward to a great winter and moving on to the spring. I'll come give another update. Thank you.
Any questions for? Are you coming to every meeting or?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. He's gonna leave. All right. We have a middle school presentation this evening.
Yeah, and this is an update on everything that's going on at the middle school, or at least some highlights of what's going on at the middle school. And I'm assuming that middle school principal Jim Lampron and assistant principal Jen Spector are going to start us off, although I may or may not be correct. And I know we've got another group of contingent here from the middle school to join in the presentation. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everyone here from the middle school.
Would you like the,
Yeah, we'll use the board.
Caught up on that, on the.
2 seconds. All right, well, thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. We're excited. We've got a crew with us here, and I think we'll do our best to knock this out of the park. So, have you ever wondered what life is like at SMS for staff and students? Well, our presentation tonight aims to shed light on what a day in the life at SMS is like. I'm here to get us started. Then I'll introduce our assistant principal, Jen Spector, who will introduce a few of our teachers who have worked in other districts and will speak to their SMS experiences. Then we'll transition to the stars of our presentations, our students, and we'll close with a video. I'm James Lampron, proud principal of the middle school, and this is Jen Spector, our incredibly talented and hardworking assistant principal. This is our 4th year working together, and over the last 4 years, we've been on a continuous mission to build a positive culture and climate within our building. We're very mindful about who we bring in to support our students, and we have a very clear vision for what we're looking for. For returning board members, these may sound very familiar to you, and in just a minute, they'll pop up on the screen. Hopefully. So what we're looking for are, we ask staff members, do you check these boxes? So are you aware of the weather you bring? We want as much sunshine in the building as possible. Knowing middle school can be hard sometimes, so having a positive baseline, bringing the sunshine, and being aware of your weather is important. Do you love all students? The ones who meet expectations regularly and the ones who test boundaries, you've got to love them all. Are you flexible? We want everything to go according to plan, and we work really hard to communicate that plan, but inevitably, there will be times when we ask folks to pivot, and we're looking for staff who are able to maintain that sunshine while demonstrating flexibility. Are you self-aware and understand it's not always about what you say, but posture, tone, and volume and proximity in which you say something with? Are you willing to contribute to the bigger picture? We're looking for staff members who dominate their classroom with engaging lessons, but also can help contribute to school-wide events and happenings that make our school an incredible place to work, learn, and be. And then are you a hard worker? Because our building's filled with hard workers, so if we were to bring someone in who wasn't, they would stick out quickly. So because we're declaring these boxes important, it's critical that Jen and I model and reinforce these behaviors daily, which we try our absolute best to do. So now that we've laid out these expectations for new staff, and what we're looking for, you may be wondering, how do we keep that messaging going with current staff? And so once you're part of our staff, we routinely share out our foundational beliefs. And as you can see on the staff meeting agenda, we begin each meeting reviewing these foundational beliefs. We have an opportunity and a responsibility to make SMS a positive experience for all and an incredible place to work, learn, and be, both for each other and for our students. We have an opportunity and a responsibility to celebrate positives and successes and lift others up. Have clear expectations for staff and students behaviorally, academically, and to recognize and believe that every student is a success story waiting to be told, and we 100% create and control the narrative. So these terms are now used regularly in day-to-day conversations. You'll often hear staff talking to each other about their weather. When deciding to implement new ideas or make changes, the conversation comes back to, will this implementation or change contribute to making our school an incredible place to work, learn, and be? If yes, it's a green light. If no, back to the drawing board. And these foundational beliefs aren't boxes we check and then we're done, but more like targets that we're always working towards and trying to improve.
So speaking of improvement, before we get into our staff and student presentations, we wanted to take a minute to just show you this 6th grade behavior data, which we felt was pretty powerful. This data compares our 6th graders through their first trimester at SMS. So the 21-22 are our current freshmen in high school. The 22-23 represent our current 8th graders, and so on. So it's been nice to see that steady decline.
Superintendent Shea asked us to speak a bit about our after-school activities. This is the first year since Jen and I have been at SMS that we've implemented after-school programming without the structure of SYC. But it was incredibly important to us to make sure students had access to enriching opportunities after school. So we looked at the numbers from programs and clubs offered through SYC last year, and then we made a tiered priority list to present to both KD and John to fund the after-school programming based on last year's student interest. So this slide here shows the current after-school opportunities offered and current approximate enrollment in each of the clubs. The list does not include jazz band or athletics. And now that we've established which activities we're implementing, our next step is to ensure parents and guardians are aware of the opportunities available.
All right, so now I have the pleasure to introduce a few of our staff members who are going to share what their experiences have been like at SMS. Before they come up, we just want to take a minute to thank them for giving up their time. It's late. Yep, you're already. It's late, and they're giving up their time with their family to be here, and we really appreciate that. So first up, we have Boomer Hoff, who is our 7th grade case manager.
Hello, and thank you for having me in tonight. So I am Boomer Hoff. I'm also known as Howard Hoff. I've had multiple names since I was about 2 months old, so a little bit confusion. Some of the students might be a little confused with the different name there. But wanted to come in and talk to you guys tonight about how kind of my experience has changed in education in my career. So I started off as a paraprofessional over in a different school district. I was there for about 5 years and I transitioned into the case manager role, from which point I kind of got to see kind of the behind the scenes things, a lot more of the process behind everything. And as I kind of got to learn the building that I was in, I kind of learned that every team, every level, grade level was kind of siloed. We didn't really have a lot of collaboration. There wasn't a lot of discussion between team members. And realistically, that included the special ed teams. I didn't get to know the other team members very well. They were all very fantastic educators, but we were all kind of on our own spots. So coming into Somersworth, it's been really fantastic to see. Okay, I can go talk to the other case managers. I can go talk to the other team members. They can come to me. We all share our experiences. We all share what we've brought to the table, and we're able to kind of find out what's best for students, what worked last year, what's going to work next year, what are we trying to set them up for success in, what kinds of things might perk their interest, what things might make them be a little more responsive or a little more willing to engage, and what might not be their favorite activity. So really that culture in the school, that collaboration, that effort to actually work for students and do what's best for them. Every teacher has that ownership. No one's like, oh, in 6th grade, that's an 8th grader. Whatever the problem is, I don't need to worry about it. Everyone has everyone else's back, and everyone wants everyone to be successful, both the students and the other staff members. And it's been wonderful to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hoff. All right, we're gonna bypass Mr. Zamboni. He might still be at the game. Oh, he is here? Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. Next up, we have Dustin Zamboni, our PE teacher, health teacher, and coach.
Apologize for being late. We finished our game, got our first win tonight. Nice work, team. Miss you guys. So this is my 9th year in education. My first year, I was in a small rural district where I worked at my previous high school, and I was fulfilling my internship there. I got my first full-time year there in special ed. Then I moved to get my PE job at another rural district. This is way up in the sticks, up north, and up near Sugarloaf, Maine, between Rangeley and Carrabassett Valley. As an itinerant, I got to work between multiple K-8 buildings. I also got to work at the high school and saw a lot of how different things were run. And I really loved those schools. And moving down to a different type of area, I was wondering what I was going to be like. And to speak on behalf of Somersworth, it's been very positive. A lot of what Boomer said really hits the nail on the head. Leading from the positive leadership, you can feel it in the building. Not only is it more inviting and like a strong unit, but everyone everyone cares. And with that being said, there's also just clear expectations. We know the kids are going to make mistakes and things will happen, and sometimes they're bizarre things, but there's just got to be a system for it. And I feel like here it's just really buttoned up in terms of PBIS. When something happens, you know who to call, what situation, who to call, and then it just goes along the way and it gets taken care of. And you always know it's going to be taken care of. But with that being said, it's been very positive here. I've really enjoyed all the people I've worked with here, and overall the whole district seems like a very positive, strong community. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dustin. And last but not least, we have Mr. Mark Holtshannon, who is our 7th grade ELA teacher.
I'm a writing teacher, so I wrote. Good evening. I am Mark Holtshannon, 7th grade ELA teacher at the middle school, hired this year to fill a 1-year position. This is my 19th year teaching. A majority of that served in Dover, where I taught 8th grade. Jumping the Dover ship was a difficult decision for me. Working that long in a place, one's identity solidifies, and even the thought of change causes some tremors. I loved working in the town that I live in. Walking to and from school, I ran into kids I knew, parents I knew, friends, family. It was really an idyllic existence for me. For those old and fortunate enough to get the illusion, think Andy in Mayberry. I was that goofy. But class sizes grew, and the curriculum standardized. I felt squeezed. I was starting to fear that as a grown-up, college-educated teacher with impeccable reviews, I was no longer trusted or valued enough to deliver curriculum on my own creative, purposeful, student-centered way. Administrators began showing up unannounced at our ELA meetings with laptops open, taking notes on what I am not sure. Once the news came that they had purchased teaching materials that we were supposed to follow with fidelity, I figured it was time to retire. I'd been thinking about that anyway. But into my ear came talk of a magical place. A few colleagues who had also jumped ship before me reached out when some openings came along, and knowing me and what I prioritize as a teacher, let me know that I might want to check it out. They told me about Community Day every Friday, about a philosophy of loving kids first, making sure their basic needs are met before a whole lot of teaching can even begin. Well, sure, but all schools have mission statements, right? I'd say the warmth started at the interview, which ended up feeling more like I was hanging out with an old group of bright, like-minded friends. Lots of laughter, sharing of ideas, and goosebumps. The message was everywhere. Staff meetings that start with cake because there are bound to be birthdays. Expectations like mantras, like prayers before worship. If you've ever attended a Quaker meeting, think of that. It was like, please contribute, but keep the greater good in mind when doing so. Watch the verbal bombs. Teachers can be raw. It's like strong faith mixed with best practices and pride and charisma and humor. Sweet, sweet humor. And that was just a staff meeting. Classrooms donned with expectations, which sure, most schools post them somewhere, but in my experience, hollowly. These expectations carried language even the kids knew. Once in my Topper Time class, where, get this, I get to teach photography to a small pack of 7th graders every Friday, right after Community Day, I saw a bridge on a walk we were taking outside and asked who wanted to cross it. One young topper told me, we'd be out of bounds, but I'm in. I don't think I've ever heard the word love used so regularly in regards to kids. Announcements in the morning followed by the quote of the day from Principal Lampron, read twice the pledge and an invitation to join him in a moment of silence, which, since my mom just finished her 3rd round of chemo treatments, is a moment I spend with her every weekday morning. Jim? But so you don't get some kind of Pollyannic idea about SMS. I have written up a lot of kids. I think I told Jen the other day, I think I might have written up more kids than I ever had at Dover. Our kids bang against the world, for sure. They must be loved and respected and held accountable. One of the most common sense staff expectations we have at SMS is that if we write a referral for a kid, we have to then write a positive referral for another kid. Balance. And then the community day, every Friday. 300 kids sitting on their butts in the gym. Starts with a review of the expectations, a reminder to be a good audience, that it's hard to stand up in front of all these people and speak, perform, teach. We look at behavior statistics. Toppers of the week, of the month, staff of the month, raffles for the mass majority of kids who manage to follow expectations and earn 0 referrals, gift cards, passes, clubs are announced, sports teams congratulated, bands play, wild animals roam, parades and celebrations, and more birthdays. A cornucopia of community. Magical. Good chance this is my last year as a public school teacher. If I'm reading my life correctly, it's the right time for me now. New chapters and all that. But please know that I am not running away from this experience. I am simply moving toward another. But man, I wish I would have started here. I sure hope someone is writing all this down. Thank you for your time.
Not quite sure I'm supposed to follow that. Thank you, Boomer, Dustin, and Mark, for coming up and sharing your experiences. All right. So now, what we've been waiting for also, we get to hear from a few of our middle school students about their experience at SMS. So first up, representing 6th grade, we have Victor Corrigan and Keenan Stone.
Good evening. My name is Victor.
My name is Keenan. We are so excited to be here today to tell you a little bit about the life as a 6th grader at Somersworth Middle School.
Our schedule has been a big change from what we were used to at Maplewood. We rotate through 5 different classes: math, science, social studies, reading, and writing.
In math, we just started learning about ratios, and we'll be learning about equivalent ratios.
In science, we are learning about the layers of the Earth and are currently moving into the continental drift unit.
In social studies, we're wrapping up our unit on early humans and the Stone Age. We just enjoyed celebrating our first Stone Age day.
In writing, we just wrapped up our narrative unit and are starting nonfiction. In reading, we finished the characterization and realistic fiction units by sharing book talks, and we are also starting our nonfiction unit of study.
We also have time during our day to work on different skills we may need help with. On white days, we have WIN, which stands for What I Need.
Students get extra support in reading or math during WIN, depending on what each student needs. On blue days, we go to the Learning Lab class for additional help with homework assignment.
At Somersworth Middle School, we have many opportunities to get involved in community and school. Somersworth Middle School offers drama club, youth to youth, band, chorus, girls volleyball, basketball, and yearbook club, just to name a few.
Students can also participate in after-school homework lab, which allows them to complete their homework in a quiet spot while receiving teacher support.
We are so lucky to have so many opportunities at Somersworth Middle School. In fact, this year's theme is Middle School Opportunity.
Thank you for all coming, and have a great night.
Thank you, Victor and Keenan. Next up from 7th grade, we have Rebecca Sendick and Thomas Watson.
I'm Thomas.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. We want to share a little bit about an average day for 7th graders at SMS.
During an average school day, we have 4 academic classes. 7th grade has a waterfall schedule, so we see each of our academic teachers 4 times a week.
In social studies, we just began our culture and population unit. We have been learning about the 8 cultural elements and exploring different cultures around the world.
In math, we have been learning how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers.
In reading, we have been reading the novel The Outsiders. While we read, we have been analyzing the different characters from the book.
In science, we have been learning about genetics. We have worked on identifying genotypes and phenotypes.
I also want to add this, that in writing, we're doing like this short story about anything, can be fiction or nonfiction. And in band and chorus, we have been practicing the different pieces that will be performed at our next concert.
In research skills, one of our summative assessments was to plan a vacation. Once we chose our vacation destination, we researched all elements of the place, climate, and tourist attractions.
SMS has hosted many events so far this year. Last month, the 7th grade hosted a fun night. At fun night, there were a variety of activities for students to participate, including gym time, video games, karaoke, watching a movie, and arts and crafts.
There are also multiple extracurricular activities for students to get involved in. During the fall, students could participate in football, cheerleading, soccer, and volleyball.
Currently, the middle school offers boys and girls basketball, chess club, esports, ski club, drama club, and homework club.
We are so lucky to have the great opportunities we do at SMS.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rebecca and Thomas. And last but not least, from 8th grade, we have Nguyen, and Cameron Picard.
Hi, I'm Cameron Picard.
And I'm Moon the Wing, and we're current 8th graders at Somersworth Middle School.
And we're here to tell you today about the 8th grade in SMS. So far we've had an awesome year. And in math, we're studying scientific notation and linear equations. And in science, we covered the Newton's laws of motions, which was summed up with the rocket launch summative, which was awesome. Moo and I were in a group, and ours, not to brag, but ours went the highest. It was awesome.
In LA, we covered the Salem witch trials and went to Salem, Massachusetts to complete our investigations before making our podcast. And in social studies, we have learned about the 13 original colonies and are now learning about the French and Indian War.
Our principal's challenge this year is to take advantage of the opportunities we're given.
At SMS, there is a variety of after-school activities such as sports, after-school help, and clubs like esports and chess club.
I'm currently on the basketball team, and I am an SMS student leader where we work on projects like the holiday parade as well as Toys for Tots.
Pretty fun. This fall, I played soccer, and I am also playing basketball, and I'm an SMS student leader. I was just named November Outstanding Student of the Month, and my favorite after-school project has to be Toys for Tots.
This fall, we participated in a college and career readiness day. Our teachers, as well as Miss Clark, who works with Gear Up, helped to organize a whole day of opportunities for the 8th grade. Students were surveyed ahead of time on their future interests, and everyone toured the Somersworth High School Career Tech Center.
Then all 8th graders were placed in 1 or 2 groups. I was in the career group, and we went to NHTI's Trade-A-Palooza and were able to learn about a bunch of different technical options available to us after high school. And they gave us a bunch of free gear and lunch at the food trucks.
I participated in the Camp College Day, and we started with the game show about college in the Somersworth High School Black Box Theater, followed by a meeting with some UNH coaches and athletes on where they talked about college athletics. And we ended up exploring college options on the Zello computer program. It was a wonderful opportunity for everyone.
One of my favorite parts of SMS is that we are a strong, connected community. At Somersworth Middle School, the staff and students take care of each other. Our teachers are funny, kind, and go out of their way to create fun and learning experiences for us. They care about us and truly want to help everyone make progress towards their goals.
One of my favorite parts about SMS are all the school-wide events. This year, we had an awesome Spirit Week and Fall Festival with activities like Newcomb, Round Robin, Kickball, and Bottle Tag. We also just had a Thanksgiving parade where every advisory came up with their own act or float and paraded through the gym.
Somersworth Middle School is a truly great place to go to school. We are very lucky to have the opportunity to be part of such a great learning environment.
Thank you.
All right, let's give a big round of applause to all of our student and staff speakers. As Mark mentioned, it's not easy to always get up in front of a crowd of people and speak, and they all did a great job. So last up, we have our Day in the Life of SMS video, which was put together by the one and only Mr. Matt Girding. Man of many talents.
Monday through Thursday, we start our days with advisory community days on Friday in the morning. I like advisories because it's just genuinely fun sometimes, and like you have like good times with the teacher and like the other peers in there. Yeah, so let's head on in.
Welcome in.
Now, these are my fellow peers, or advisory friends.
Welcome to the 6th grade. We have math, reading, writing, science, and social studies.
I promise I downloaded it.
We have math, reading, writing, science, and social studies.
Ideas? I'll just drag the. Yeah, I can share it with you guys, yeah. Dad. Better. Recording spent a lot of time on that, and it's really cute.
You have to take my word for it. The video was incredible. Round of applause for the video. That almost happened. We will make that available because it truly is, it's a really cool video, and we'll likely show it to students and staff at a community day as well. So this concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening and for your attention. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it provided some insight into what a day in the life is like for a student and a staff member at SMS. Happy holidays. With that being said, are there any questions for Mrs. Spector? For any of our students or for staff, or any questions about a half marathon that Mr. Tebow beat me in?
Yeah, O'Brien Hart, followed by Wentworth. Yep.
Hi, I love all of this stuff. I teach middle school at John Powers, so middle schoolers are great, but wonderful. On your decrease in referrals, just what's the scale for that on your graph?
We just the numbers in, so I don't have them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Show the kids without the numbers.
I like that too.
Or not, if that's the case. Don't know that right now.
That's all right. That's cool. The other thing is your reference to the weather, the reference to the larger quote from what is that, Chaim Ganat or whatever about education.
No.
No? Oh.
No.
I love that quote. Well, either way, it flagged for me.
You should have just said yes.
That you're asking your teachers to like reflect on who they are and what they bring to their classroom. And like, as a teacher myself, like that is what I want from myself, to do that reflection every day, and then like to have my colleagues do that too and have that kind of work environment. So it's so cool to hear of a school that is doing that. And I'm so proud of you guys for doing that. And it's great. So. Anyway.
Thank you. It can make challenging conversations a little easier. Like instead of like your attitude's terrible, sometimes it's like, oh, your weather, and then it's a little safe. It's a safer entry point, but you're really making it's the same gesture.
And that the initial number for the first year of 6th grade in that graph was
Yeah. Board Member Whitewood.
Any other questions for Jen?
Yeah. Yes, this is for you, Jem. No. So I think this is like the 3rd or 4th presentation I've seen from you guys about SMS, and this was, even without the video, by far the most informative, really I felt like we got a really well-rounded experience of what is going on there and everything like that. And the kids were all, most of them are gone, but it was so good. You guys were so good, and it was amazing to hear all of you. I'd like the English teacher to go ahead and narrate my life. He's clearly an English teacher. And my one question for the PE teacher, is Zamboni really your last name? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I think we can all just say it's a win.
Fun fact, we took the kids to a hockey game last year, and he got to take a picture in front of the Zamboni at the hockey game.
First time on one.
Oh, wow. Clark, followed by Jameson.
I don't really have any questions. I just want to say thank you for coming out to the teachers, for the students, the faculty, everyone, because it gives us such a great insight of how things are going, right? And I love hearing from all of you. And yeah, thank you for your time.
I'm going to embarrass Jen. No. I just want to say that I hope that your staff knows, Jimmy, that you have been doing this for a million years and that you also did this as a teacher, loving all of the students. And so you guys are clearly a phenomenal team and great educators, and thank you.
I want to start off with thank you for everything that you guys do for these kids, the engagement that you guys put out there for these children. I see every day, because I have to drop off my 100 children, you guys out there walking the kids to the corner, people, high-fiving and playing with these kids out there. So it's amazing. I really want to say thank you.
How lucky are we, and we being the bigger community, to have the leadership and the teaching and the community that you've built and you've supported at the middle school. I have heard about it. I have felt it. We are incredibly appreciative of that, because it is not typical. It's exceptional what you've built, what you continue to. I'd like this all on the front page of our website tomorrow, or just what everyone says. Things are hard. Things can be tough at the middle grade. I've been there, but what you've been able to create is nothing short of just a wonderful example of community, and love at the center of it is one of those things that's so strong and so evident in what we do. So thank you, and not taking up anyone else's time, but thank you all for coming out tonight. You did so great. This is like our favorite time, when students and teachers and you come up and you don't have to stay here for hours and hours. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was wonderful. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. All right, policy adoption.
I'd
All
like to
right.
make a motion. Oh.
To read them, do you want to read them in
I'd
their
like to
full?
make a motion to read them by title only.
Oh, I don't know.
You want me to read them by title?
Second, all in favor of reading by title only?
Aye.
Okay, I'll read them out and we can adopt per policy, okay? All right, ADC/GBED/JICG prohibitions regarding use and possession of tobacco products, e-cigarettes, and e-liquids in and on school facilities and grounds and during school activities held off school grounds.
I make a
The longest.
motion. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to present this policy as presented.
Adopt it.
Adopt it,
as
sorry.
presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion about this? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. BCA, so BCA, BCB, and BEC really didn't have a lot of changes, but we just wanted to elevate it to the public and so to see it and to remind the board. So BCA, school board member ethics. Have we all read that? Thank you. Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt policy
As presented. Yep. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Let's keep going. BCB, board member conflict of interest. Do I have a motion to adopt this? Yep, perfect. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, BEC non-public sessions. Now there's also a, I'm going to do BEC and BEC-R since they're connected to do together. It's the form for non-public. What's the wish of the board to adopt as presented? We need to put our microphones on? Okay.
Motion to adopt to be.
Yep. As presented, okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, EFAA, student food service meal payment, charging and meal account management, not to call when you're negative 10 in the balance and have a more streamlined, efficient process, even though we do our due diligence in getting the resources to families. Do we have a motion to adopt this as presented?
Motion to adopt EFAA as presented.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Last one. IHBCA, accommodation of pregnancy and related medical conditions, students.
Motion to adopt IHBCA as written.
Yep. Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, policy. Thank you, Kat Crosby. Thank you, that policy committee. This is nothing short. This is a lot of work, a lot of writing, a lot of review. Policy does a lot of the heavy lifting with this work, and it's appreciated because many of these are required by law, and it's fun when we can create something for Somersworth, and maybe we can look at that with mission and values in the future once we've done the heavy lifting of all the required stuff. Thank you. No new business, but I would like to actually maybe we'll speak about it at future meeting dates, and you can say that at that special ed then. Our only old unfinished business for second reading is 9.1, our proposed 2025-26 school year calendar. I think this is one of the earliest that we've ever had it ahead of time, so I appreciate that. Has everyone been able to read and review the calendar? Yep, good. All right, what's the wish of the board to adopt the calendar as presented?
To adopt the calendar as presented.
Second.
And this calendar is in line with our neighboring districts. If things have to change in the future, we can but having it this early is wonderful. So, any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wonderful. Our calendar for next year, 25-26 is adopted. Future meeting dates, budget and revenues ramping up in January, January 21st and 28th. We have meetings. The next policy meeting and the last meeting of the year for any committees or school board is December 17th at the SAU at 5:45. Ed programs, January 14th. Our next school board meeting in the new year is January 14th and the 28th. And I'd like at this point, we'll add the Special Education Ad Hoc Committee up in committee reports, but Board Member Jamieson, if you can give us an update.
Yeah, sure. So we'll be meeting again in early January, and I'll have that date as soon as I can. But we did meet on 12/9 with some of the players for special education. We did not talk about finances because Katie Kraus was not available, and that would be a terrifying thing to do. And we're just looking at big picture overview right now of what is kind of driving up special education referrals in New Hampshire and around the country, so that people can kind of understand what is happening and what needs to happen. Long term, hoping to touch on understanding special ed law and, fiscal transparency and kind of what's going on there. But I just want to shortly say that our schools are increasingly challenged by the rising needs of our students. We have many students that come to school who are not prepared to learn due to factors like poverty, opioid crisis, lack of early interventions. We have students who are impacted by parent incarcerations. We have students who have developmental delays who have not been able to access outside services like speech therapy, counseling. Waiting lists for neuropsychological evaluations in the New Hampshire area and most of Massachusetts can stretch up to 18 months. And then we also have the fact that students, they spend 13% of their time in school, about 77% at home, and we're relying on parents to help us. And when parents don't have the community supports that they need and the outside resources, children struggle, right? And so really we want to look at how do we help from a community perspective, from a community lens, so that we can uplift our families and our students and our schools. And I think Somersworth does a great job. I think that there's still more to be done in order to help reduce these needs, right? So outside services are huge, wraparound supports are huge, and I can talk more about that at another meeting, but everyone pretty consistently identified those as factors for increases in student need. So, yeah.
Thank you. We're lucky to have your expertise in this way. It's kind of not something to resolve. It's something to lay perspective on, kind of see it within our community and our lens and what we can do in our, just in our district and sometimes with the fiscal part, kind of being clear about what's required and what we have, and then with the part of like the real human part and what we're up against, you know very well, and then what can we do, where can we think, where can we innovate, where we can continually support. I think it's one of those things, and again, it's not to resolve. There's nothing to resolve in essence, but to be able to communicate it out with sensitivity that. You're doing a great job. So is there another meeting on the potentially?
I definitely should have written it down.
Oh,
I
that's
feel
great.
like I feel like it's like January 9th.
Oh, okay.
Or 6th, I think is correct.
Wonderful.
Thank you. That's amazing. And look, it made it into Katie's calendar. So thank you. 3 p.m. January 6th at the SAU. Thank you.
And just a reminder, too, that our board presentation at our next board meeting on January 14th, if I have the date correct, is special education.
Sorry, no one's in the building, no visitors to comment. Thank you, Bill. He's had to tell us to put on our microphone so many times today. Board Member D. St. Croix.
So I wanted to say thanks to Barbara for bringing the fun here and the laughs, and I'm definitely gonna miss that. But you've been a great role model for me, this being my first time doing this. You've given me a lot of input and a lot of knowledge that you had, and I'm going to really miss you. You've been great. Thank you.
I just want to follow it up and be like, no, you're not leaving. But thank you for all that you've done. I appreciate that.
We should have done this in the beginning. Now it's just like this empty hall of like, I know, it's like, well, yeah, okay, Katie, what's the budget after that? We've lost, yeah.
For any of us to say anything else, let's teach her, forget about it.
Yeah, that was incredible. It's funny because I tell everyone that our meetings are going to be short and I don't want to go on and on, but what we've been able to do and what Board Member Wentworth has been able to apply in dedication to a community, sometimes unseen, unappreciated, unknown, is that like, and middle school spoke about it a lot, that love that you can build a foundation on. And we've been able to build a foundation here that's pretty steady, pretty respectful, and pretty dedicated to our students, to the kids, and to our community at large. It's been a ride. I think that when we look at like civic service, just service in general to people, when people say, why do you do this? It's like, especially in school boards, right? And things like that. Why do you do it? And I think it really is love for children, love for a space, and what we've gone through, I think, has been exceptional. Your application of your expertise, your perspective has been exceptional. However, what I do say in these roles shouldn't be this permanent role forever, right? It's an open, bring them in, bring everyone in to be able to do it. So she's not like going far away. I mean, if we have a committee that we need to come in, Ward 2 is open, Ward 5 is open, Ward 4 is open. We're amazing. I don't know when the next city council meeting is. January 6th, okay, and then 2 weeks after that, another. So I think that if anyone puts their application in by then, but we'll still move on with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members. Marcia's just sick this evening, excused. So, all right, is anyone else? Thank you. Yes, Board Member Jameson.
I am sorry, I need to say something not about Barbara.
Okay.
I love you.
Do it. You already did.
I do need the public to know that the Conval case was, I just got an email today from the New Hampshire Fair Funding that the state argued today that in front of the New Hampshire Supreme Court that school buildings and heat for those buildings is not part of the state's definition for an adequate education, and so they have no responsibility to pay for them. Furthermore, that the state has spent $1 million+ on outside counsel, which to my understanding would be people beyond those employed by the state, to represent their case that they cannot give us any money. And then also that even the base, what they're fighting over is $7,000, which is a third of what it costs to educate a child in New Hampshire, which hovers around 18 to 22, depending on what you're looking at. So again, if you are concerned, please contact the state of New Hampshire. Thank you.
Thank you for looking into the camera, Board Member Jameson. And an advocate, I received the same one on the snow. On that note, we may be writing a letter and kind of coming together as collaboratively as a school board to be able to advocate on behalf of our community.
I second that. Is that a motion?
We will create it. We will move forward with that. That doesn't seem on a snowy, cold New Hampshire day to be able to say those things. Doesn't seem like critical thoughts applied. Do you have a motion to adjourn? Oh, do you have?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
because that's what I do.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Adjourned at 8:09.